on the symptoms that she's got. But she's probably seeing me as irrelevant. She doesn't see me as, well, I should have an answer for her. She's probably seeing that she has some professional qualification. And they've dismissed me from the profession for no good reason, for lies, you see. And that the patients were saying that they were getting a healing from me, you see. So they concocted some information there and twisted the story and said, right, I'm not able to practice, but when the Lord is ready, the truth will come out. And the Lord has actually said to me through prophesying callers that I should take up spiritual warfare on this one. However, because I'm having to prophesy on a daily basis, it's a full-time dedication, because it's prayers, it's meditation in the scriptures. Because as I meditate in the scriptures, that's when I hear the word of the Lord in due season. You see, that's when I hear the word of the Lord in due season. So the prophet Jeremiah has to bring a message to people who are in disobedience, people who are in evil, wickedness and sin. They're in a lesser stance of themselves. They don't know their truth. And so therefore the Lord, in that evil, they have become more backwards and more regressed. So how can they hear when the Lord has already stated at the beginning of Jeremiah, the story of Jeremiah, that your fathers have gone so distant for me? So Jeremiah has tribulation. He has a challenge. He has a challenge. So there's a lot that he's saying, and I really want to spend some time on what Jeremiah is saying, because I'm going through the same thing myself. You see? And not only me, there are other messengers, and I do know of another messenger who's going through the same thing. And the betwixt moment is that the messenger of God, they bring blessings. Wherever they are, people are blessed. And the thing is, the people cannot see it. And something I can really tell you about myself is wherever I go, souls gather. And if the government right now wants to take a check on me, they will see, if they locate the places I've been, they will see that the population have increased. And something else I can tell you, whenever I go to work with a particular company or a hospital, because I've worked in private section as well as in the national service, okay, their profits increase. They have more people coming in, and so therefore they have more profits, because the Lord has designated me to be a messenger of the soul. So wherever I go, I attract souls. And that means that in the morning time when I'm off to work, traffic piles up, and I will look for a quiet place, some quiet routes, so that I can get onto the highway, the motorway. And next thing I know, the quiet routes become abundant in cars. So now every now and then I have to keep changing my routes so that I can get the lesser of people. Okay, so the messenger brings blessings, but the people don't want to receive the blessings. The messenger brings automated healing, but the people, only if it just happens and then they realize, wow, I had a healing there. Yeah, and then their minds might begin to associate, and they realize, you see. So the messengers, what I want to say, we really do undergo a challenging time. And it can be so discouraging and so entrenching. But yet the word of the Lord comes through like a fire in the bone. It's an automated devotion. An automated devotion. So right now, as I've gone on with speaker, I'm asking you all to, in this season where they're calling it the end times, I'm asking that to take care as you listen to the message of the Lord. Yes, there are those who are coming out calling themselves prophets, and I call them the prophesying callers. But as they don't have the ability like Jeremiah, they're not able to see 7 years and know exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. And I'm saying it from my point of view, from the experience that I'm having. Okay, and I'm saying it because of what happened this morning trying to get onto the Blog Talk Radio. Okay, I am able to see 7 years in advance. And when I go into the workplace, as soon as I speak 7 years in advance. And it's so automated in me that I don't know that the other people cannot foresee what I'm saying. We're on different wave bands, okay? So they become upset and dismissal of me, okay? But I think too, it's not just that. I think it's attitude, because here in England, as much as they don't want to say, the racism is very strong. Okay, the racism sounds like a horrible word, but it's a fact. It is a fact. All right, it is a fact that one nation of people looks upon another nation of people in a particular fashion. It's an ingrained upbringing, and the ones who's the perpetrator, or the one who's been put upon, they have become complacent and they just receive it. And receive it meaning that they don't seek to become ambitious and to rise above the station that they've been put in. So now you get the one lonesome person who has that ambition, and they're on their own. They're fighting against a disbelieving crowd of people. Okay, and then to add more salt to the wound is that person can see in advance, and that person has an understanding of the heavens and the sixth sense. So the worst thing about it is that I'm able to know what the person is thinking at times. When they come up at me, the Lord allows me to know their thinking. So they do all their little strategy to prove me wrong, and the more the Lord will open my mind to know all their thoughts and their plans and their strategy. You see? So now they think they've won a case because they've all conspired to bring forward a case against the situation, and I can see through it all. You see? Now there's a real frustration because you're in the minority and they are in the majority. Okay? So the same thing is taking place with Jeremiah. He's bringing the word of God. He's bringing a word of knowledge, a word of guidance, and a word of warning to the people. And they want to go their own way, and I must say that I have had a little guilt when the Lord has said, go and do something, and I've told you stories, and I'm trying to appease the environments so that I can get along with them, because when I bring the truth to them, they don't want to hear it, and instead they just hit back on me. They throw me, they take away the work, they take away the ability to practice in the profession. And I've been in the health service 30 years. So from the moment I left school, I've been working in the health service. So surely that would speak for itself. Yes, surely that would speak for itself. So now with Jeremiah, the Lord tells him directly, go and speak to a particular person, a priest. All right? And the priest now hits him and puts him in prison. And he says, Lord, you've deceived me. I'm deceived. You told me to go somewhere, and look what they've done. Look what they've done. So I'm going to leave it there, because I can appreciate Jeremiah, because it's exactly the same thing that I'm going through. And I know that the Lord has shown me another who is going through the same thing. But what the people didn't realize is that the messenger brings blessing. And that other person can bring so much wealth and prosperity to the people and to the land. But the regression of the mind, they cannot see it. And likewise here, when the Lord said to me, tell the people the importance of being positive, can I tell you that there probably wouldn't be any cancer on the land. They wouldn't, because if the Lord sent me, I know exactly what I would have said to the government. I know exactly what I would have said to the hospital. And I know exactly what I would have said to the place of education. It's all in me. It's piled up. It's ready to erupt like a volcano. Yeah? It's ready to shake and rattle and roll. Okay, so I know right now what I would go to the Houses of Parliament. I know right now what I would say to David Cameron and to his colleagues. I know right now what I would say to Jeremy Corbyn and to Nigel Farage. I know what I would say to them about this European referendum right now. You see? And to take me up into the hospital governing board, hey, I'm going to set that place on fire. Because if I have my way, I would bring down that hospital service. And, I would root it out, pull it down, destroy it. Throw it away. And through the Lord, we will build it and we will plant it and build it. Okay? So, I knew what to say. It was all there in me. But I didn't want the punishment of the people. So now evil came upon me. And this is what Jeremiah is saying here. Yeah. And the Lord did say, I will confound you. Meaning that something is intercepting you. So I'm going to have to put a stop onto it. You see? So, there is a story to be had with Jeremiah. And I'm going to, at this session here, at this episode here, I will come to an end because Blog Talk Radio has already come off air. So those who have listened to me, I've been trying to get on to this early morning. Thank you for your good and gracious time. And my message on my behalf here is take time in judging people, because the true judgment is breaking the laws of God. Yes, but then even then, we need to come higher in the understanding of the Lord. And that's my message now, is to come into a higher knowledge, come into a higher intelligence of the Lord. Okay, take time to know who are the Lord's true messengers. Okay, and to hear what they have to say, and to give it its benefit of the doubt. Because yes, there are many people who are coming forward, and they can prophesy, they can speak into the future, but are they the true messenger of God like Jeremiah? The Lord complains about the prophets through Jeremiah. Are they the one that has been set aside? That the Lord knew and set them aside. So that means they're not human. They're not human. So we're not all human, nor are we extraterrestrials, you see. Because within this perception, we experience evil. But if we come into a higher perception, then we experience supremeness, you see. So, as I'm saying to you, I ask you to be patient with one another. That's the best I can say right now. And listen to each other as we speak, because each of us carries a message. And I said each of us has that pure spirit that connected to our divine and to our higher source. Each of us need that spiritual awakening, and we need to also connect with the blueprint of who we are, our souls. Right? So rather than get hasty and want to hurl words, because words are very hurtful, and I think that's what's discouraged me more than anything else. It's the words that people give out. All right. So be mindful and listen to the message. And I'm telling you, I don't even like to go to church now, because the Lord is showing me in this end of age the truth of his scriptures, because he's saying that he's going to do a Passover, and the Passover is just going to be like the children of Israel, when it was like those who were not, and that was the Egyptian, those who were not in his commandments accordingly to him, the Lord wiped them out. And the same thing will happen if people do not take their time and listen and know the true messenger. Okay? And the Lord is talking to me about idols and altars. And right now, most people in the world have idols and they have the wrong altars, including those who call themselves Christianity. They have the wrong altar. The Lord has shown me this. And he's shown me through his scriptures, and he's explained and he's enlightened my mind to know why they're the wrong altars and what is his true altars, you see. And if we will take our time and just allow the messenger to come through, now we can really see the beauty of the Lord, understand what is happening, and come higher in the knowledge. So when the the Spirit of the Lord hovers over the waters and brings form to his earth, then we will be in the true